They did not have much. One television, one telephone, one car, if they were lucky. Their clothes came from one store. Their vacations were a long drive to somewhere 2 states away. Their entertainment was a radio, a paperback, and each other. And yet, by almost every psychological measure we have, they were happier than we are. Not slightly happier, measurably, consistently, structurally happier. This is the paradox that modern economics cannot explain. More has not made us more. To understand why, we need to talk about the psychology of desire. Specifically, the gap between what we have and what we think we should have. Psychologists call this the aspiration gap, and the research is unambiguous. It is not what you have that determines your happiness. It is the distance between what you have and what you expect to have. In the 1970s, that gap was small, not because people were content by nature, but because the architecture of their world kept expectations bounded. You compared yourself to your neighbors. Your neighbors looked roughly like you. The comparison was local, and local comparisons are survivable. Now consider what happened to comparison. In 2024, you do not compare yourself to your neighbor. You compare yourself to the most curated, optimized, filtered version of the most successful person on earth. And you do this 300 times a day. Every scroll is a comparison. Every comparison widens the aspiration gap. Every widened gap is a small wound to your sense of sufficiency. 300 small wounds a day. The 1970s family was not better at gratitude. They were not more enlightened. They were simply not being shown what they were missing. There is a second reason their poverty of things made them richer. It has to do with identity. When you cannot have everything, you must choose. And what you choose becomes who you are. The 1970s teenager had 3 or 4 albums. They knew every note of every song. Those albums were not content, they were self-definition. Now we have 30 million songs, and most of us cannot name 5 albums we truly love. Abundance dissolved the relationship. There is a third mechanism, the one that economists call hedonic adaptation. The brain is wired to normalize. What thrills you today will bore you next month. This is not weakness. This is a fundamental feature of human cognition. But it has a crucial implication. The faster you acquire things, the faster the brain normalizes. The faster the brain normalizes, the more you need to feel anything. The 1970s family waited for things. The new television took 6 months to save for. The family vacation was planned for a year. Christmas was once a year. That waiting was not deprivation. That waiting was the preservation of joy, because the brain had not yet normalized what was coming. We have eliminated waiting. Same-day delivery, instant streaming, one-click purchase. We thought we were removing frustration. We were removing the mechanism that made things matter. There is one more thing they had that we have lost, and it has nothing to do with money. In the 1970s, people were materially poor, but socially rich. They knew their neighbors, not their online profiles, their actual neighbors. They ate dinner together, not because they were more virtuous, but because there was nowhere else to go. The constraint created the connection. Now we have infinite alternatives, and the research on loneliness is clear. We have never been more connected, and never more alone. The 1970s family could not escape each other, And in that enforced closeness, something grew, something that required proximity, something that no app has been able to replicate. There is a word that appears rarely in modern psychology: sufficiency, the state of having enough, not more than enough, just enough. The 1970s family lived in sufficiency almost by definition, not because they chose simplicity, but because the economy of their time had not yet weaponized their desire. The advertising industry was young. The algorithm did not exist. No one had yet figured out how to make them feel perpetually insufficient. That technology came later. I want to be precise about what I am not saying. I am not saying poverty is good. I am not saying we should want less. I am saying something more specific, that the relationship between having and being happy is not linear. There is a point past which more things produce less happiness. The 1970s family was below that point. Many of us are well past it, and we keep going further because the system that profits from our acquisition has no incentive to tell us we have passed the peak. They had nothing: a small house, a simple dinner, a radio in the evening, and something in that nothing was everything. We have more now, more than any generation in human history. And the question that no one in the economy wants you to ask is whether it is enough. Silent collapse.